In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an outbound strategy from A to Z using a company called Bippit as an example. Even if you're in a different industry, this will give you a full strategy you can adapt and apply to your own outbound system. So we'll cover everything from how many inboxes you need based on the volume of leads you want to reach out to building and cleaning your list, writing and A/B testing your copy, and even setting up your clay flow so you can automate all of the enrichment. If you don't know who I am, I'm Romain Osman. I co-founded 5element, and over the past years, we've generated over 1,000 sales appointments for B2B companies using cold emailing and LinkedIn outreach. So let's get started. So that's the carousel I shared a few weeks ago on LinkedIn, and I was detailing here the exact strategy I'd use if I were to run an outbound campaign for Bippit. So I'm going to walk you through the document in this video and also show you directly on Apollo, Clay, and other tools how I do it in detail. But first, what is Bippit? So Bippit is a financial well-being platform. They provide employees with access to financial coaches. So basically, they help reduce financial stress, enhance employee engagement, and promote overall well-being. So first, let's talk about the infrastructure we would need to create for a company like Bippit. So their target audience is very large. They can work with almost all companies with a certain amount of employees, probably around 50 employees minimum. And they are mainly targeting the HR department. So the target audience is huge. So when I created this document, I said that we're going to reach out to 15,000 prospects per month, but I think we can go way beyond that. For the email cadence, I wrote 3 emails per prospect. If no response, re-engage in 3 to 4 months. I think here 3 emails is too much based on the large target audience that they have. I won't go beyond 2. I think the best is 1 or 2 emails. If we send only 1 email, then we would re-engage after 2 to 3 months. And if we want to send 2 emails, maybe after 3 to 4 months. And so in my example here, it was 15,000 times 3. So we need to send 45,000 emails per month. But to maintain strong deliverability, we'll double the setup to handle up to 90,000 emails a month. So I have this document here that I already showed in another video that helps you to know how many inboxes you need based on the number of leads you want to contact. So we're going to add our numbers here. So number of leads per day. We want to contact 15,000 leads per month. So we're going to divide 15,000 with 22 because we don't send during weekends. So 681. So let's say we want to reach out to 700 leads per day. Number of emails per lead. Let's say that we have the first email and then 1 follow-up. So 2 emails. Total sending days per month, 22. Google inbox limit. I would limit to 20 to 25. For this example, let's take 20. Microsoft inbox limit. So here we're using the Microsoft Azure infrastructure. So here you're going to have 1 domain with 100 inboxes. In my case, I'm using Lunatro. And so we don't want to go beyond 4 emails per day per inbox. Backup inboxes percentage 100% because we want half of our inboxes to always stay in warm-up. And for the Google inbox share, we want to put 50% because we want half Google and half Lunatro inboxes in this case. And so to be able to reach out those 15,000 leads per month, we would need 70 Google inboxes and 350 Microsoft inboxes. So here we would need 23 domains. And here we would need only 3 to 4 domains because per domain, we can connect or add 100 inboxes. So in my example here, the volume is higher because we wanted to send 3 emails per prospect. Now let's talk about list building. So I'm assuming that they are targeting companies with 50 to 10,000 plus employees. Probably they're starting at 100 or 200 employees minimum, but for this example, we're going to start at 50 employees. For the location, it's going to be the USA, Canada, and the UK. Probably they can target the Gulf region and Australia, but for this example, we're just going to talk about those 3 regions. Industry, it's for all industries. There are probably some industries that are more relevant, but here we're not going to complicate anything. We're going to target every industry. And the point of contact here is going to be the Chief People Officer, the Director of HR, Head of HR, VP of HR. We have here Head of Compensation and Benefits, Head of Employee Well-being. Like there are a bunch of job titles that are pretty similar. And so as you can see, I created an Apollo search with a bunch of job titles. I think all of them are relevant. I targeted the US, Canada, and the UK. And for the employee count, from 50 employees to 10,000 employees, I didn't go beyond 10,000 employees. We could, but I think it would be harder. And so in that case, I'm not choosing to target them. By the way, if you'd rather have my team build and run the entire outbound system for you, just hit the first link in the description to book a call with me. I'll walk you through what it will look like if we took care of everything for you. All right, back to the video. So as I said here, the target audience is easy to find. So we'll be pulling leads directly from Apollo. So as I mentioned earlier, we want to contact 15,000 leads per month. So because of that, we want to export minimum 30,000 leads to account for both email validation drop-off. Some emails will be invalid. There will be some invalid catch-alls. And we also want to exclude Microsoft 365 users and also Barracuda users because the deliverability rate for those inboxes and MX providers will be generally 10 times lower than Google mailboxes. So now let's talk about the copy creation. Great outbound starts with the right messaging. I'd create 3 to 5 different email variations to A/B test. For this example, I'll break down 2 variations of the first email along with follow-up 1 and follow-up 2. So I won't talk about follow-up 2 because here we said that we have only a 2-step sequence. So quickly, let's talk about the core benefits of Bippit. So it boosts engagement and productivity, improves retention rates, provides personalized financial guidance at no cost to employees, reduces absenteeism, and reduces financial stress so employees feel more secure and focused at work. Now let's talk about the copies. So here's the first variation I created. Here we want to start with some spin tags for the greeting. This is not mandatory, but it can help with deliverability because it helps bypass spam filters. Then we're going to use the Poke the Bear approach from Josh Brown. So instead of pitching directly, we open with a thought-provoking question. So how is company name addressing the financial well-being of its employees? Then we're going to add some data and credibility. So backing up the problem with a real stat makes it more compelling and relevant. So financial stress is the number 1 cause of workplace stress and the number 1 reason employees leave. So it's a strong stat to use here. We're not mentioning any source. We're going to do it in the follow-up, but it's still very compelling. Then we want to add some social proof. So companies partnering with Bippit have seen a 93% reduction in employees' financial stress. And so then we finish with the call to action. So would you like to see how this could work for a company name? We don't want here to ask directly for a call. We just want them to reply with a positive reply, with a yes or with yes, send me more information. But we don't want to add too much friction. That's why we're not asking directly for a meeting. Now let's talk about the second variation. So first we have the subject line. Here we had exactly the same subject line. It's just question for first name. It's one of the best performing subject line in general. Here we don't need to overcomplicate. It could potentially be better, but if you add quick question or question for first name, people are going to open the email either way. So we still have the spin tags here. And then we're going to start the email with noticed you're the, and we're going to add their job title. add company name. So it's adding some personalization. It's not crazy complicated personalization here, but it might be enough for them to continue reading the email. We're helping companies like company name improve employee retention and engagement through personalized financial guidance. So here we have the clear value proposition. We get straight to the benefits, improving employee retention and engagement. It's very simple. Then we're going to add some social proof with a cost-saving angle. So on average, organizations using Bippit see a 50% increase in employee retention. After implementing Bippit, 80% of Boeing employees reported feeling more engaged at work. So here we want to add social proof with a well-known company. So in that case, we're going to use Boeing. Here we could use a company name that is similar to the company that we're reaching out to. Here, that's not something I did, but it can be easily automated in Clay if we have enough case studies in different industries. Then we have the call to action, some spin tags to finish the email, the signature like before, and a way out. We don't want to add an unsubscribe link because it's going to harm our deliverability, but we want to tell them like you can stop the sequence if you want. Now let's talk about the follow-up one. Hi, first name. I've seen that company name has around X amount of employees. Based on ONS data, it means that around X number of them are not saving enough for retirement, and around X number have debts they're struggling to clear. So here we're using data from the ONS, and they have a calculator on their website here. So if you have, let's say, 1,000 employees, here you have the automatic calculation of the number of people that are not saving enough, people that will renew their mortgage within a year, etc. And so it's data that is backed by those websites and sources. And so here, that's something we can add easily with the Clay to just add a formula to be able to add it automatically in the campaign. Financial stress isn't just a personal issue. It directly affects productivity, retention, and engagement. So here we want to link the data here to the business impact. And so here then another call to action. So would it make sense to explore how this could fit into company names, well-being strategy? Now let's talk about list cleaning and enrichment. So as we mentioned before, we want to export leads from Apollo. In that case, that's the best strategy to do it. We're not going to use Google Map or other sources. Those companies, they have a LinkedIn profiles and their employees are on LinkedIn. So Apollo is the best source to source leads. So we have our lead list here. And so we want to export that using Apify. I already created a tutorial on how to source leads using Apify, but basically we want to take this link, paste it in Apify, and then source our 30,000 leads. So I already did it for 150 leads. I'm going to walk you through the exact flow in Clay. So the first step here is to check if the company is in our do not contact list. So we want to add in the do not contact list all of our clients and all of the companies we don't want to reach out to. So first, we're checking that. If the company is not in the other table, then we can go to the next step. So here we want to check the MX provider they're using. So as I mentioned before, if it's Microsoft or Barracuda, we don't want to go to the next step. Then we're validating the email address. Here I'm using debounce. So when it's valid here, it goes directly to master email, like in that case, for example. And when it's a catch-all, for example, if I click here, it's going to say that it's a catch-all. Yeah, accept all. And so when it's accept all, it's going to go to email for enrich.so. And so it's going to validate the catch-all email. As you can see here, it was valid. Here it was valid as well. So it went here because they're catch-alls. And so then it was validated with enrich.so. And so here, as you can see, it was invalid, undeliverable. And here it was deliverable. So that's why it's adding in master email only here. And when there is no email because Apollo doesn't have the data, we are trying to find it using Prospeo. And so here it's exactly the same. When it's valid, it goes directly in master email. And when it's catch all, it's going in this column, and then it's being validated by enrich.so. And if it's valid, it goes in this column. By the way, I'm going to share the exact table I'm showing with you right now. So you can duplicate it and use it for your own outbound. And then when there is an email in master email, we want to clean the company name because we're going to use that in the copy. And so we want to remove all of the LLC, Inc., etc. And we want to clean the job title because some people have very long job titles. And so when we're going to use it in our copy here, we don't want it to be too long. So here it's simplifying the job title. Then we have those two columns with the numbers that we're going to add here and here. And so here it's a very simple formula. It's basically the number of employees here that we have in this column divided by 263 for the first number, and here divided by 14.76. So that's simply the ratio that is on the website here. And our last column here is the Smartlead column. So here I didn't run it, but basically when there is an email here and a master email and a master job title, it's going to add directly the row in the right Smartlead campaign. So here, that's our last column for this workflow. So in my example here, I had a different workflow, but it's very similar. I was just using other tools. Here I had Lead Magic as well to find the email ICPs. I was validating the catch-all with Ready to Send, but Ready to Send has been bought by another company. And I was also using TryKit or Kit for the enrichment, but the rest is exactly the same. And finally, we don't want to stop with email outreach because, as you've seen here, we're excluding a lot of rows, not because they're not qualified, but because either they don't have an email or it's not a valid email, or they are on Microsoft 365. And so as you can see here, we have to exclude at least 50%. And so we want to contact them on LinkedIn. So we'd connect more than 5 LinkedIn profiles from the Bippit team to Get Sales or Richie and start reaching out to them. So we could send 40 connection requests per profile. So that's 800 invitations per profile. And so with that, we could easily double our number of meetings because in general, even if the volume here is not that high, because from those 800 invites per profile per month, probably we'll be able to send maximum 160 to 200 messages per profile per month because they need to accept the invitation, and it's never higher than 20-25%. The acceptation rate. And so we won't be able to send that many messages, but on LinkedIn, the reply rate and positive reply rate in general is a lot higher. So LinkedIn is a lot harder to scale because you need LinkedIn profiles, and so they can be restricted, and you need a team big enough and people that accept to use their LinkedIn profile for outreach. So it's harder to scale, but the results are better. While email outreach is very easy to scale, you can just buy more domains and more inboxes, but the reply rate and positive reply rate in general is lower. So that's it for the video. Now, if you'd like our team to build and run your whole outbound system for you, so you can just focus on closing deals and not focus on anything that I talked about in this video, you can just click the first link in the description and book a call with me. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe. I'll be posting more content and tutorials like this one to help you scale your outbound strategy. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.